Hello, my name is Daron Hall, Pittsburg City Manager, and I just wanted to take another brief moment of your time and talk to you about some of the decisions that have been made within the community that affect you and your families as we head into summer. As you know, the pandemic has taken its toll nationally on the finances and the health of our country. Pittsburgh is no different. About a month ago, we sat down with the team, all the financial people and the experts that know how to save money and cost cut, and just said, what is our financial impact? What are we looking at as a city? Right now, we've estimated that impact at just short of $2.5 million. So just like the businesses and your individual families, we've had to tighten our budget strings and find a way to get through this. But $2.5 million is a lot of money. And so the only thing that we can really do to make up for that is to cut expenses. And that's really what I wanted to talk to you about today. For us, it really comes down to our employees. We have basically 300 employees, and my number one priority is to make sure that none of them lose their job. So furloughing employees, laying off employees is absolutely not something that we want to do. In order to keep the costs down, we do have some options that don't affect our current employees. Number one, we can freeze vacancies, which we've done for almost all full-time employees. If there's a vacant position, even in police and fire, at this point, we're holding it open. Number two, maybe one of the most difficult things, we were scheduled to have raises this year, and we're going to go without raises for 2020. So that's a big impact, but we think people keeping their jobs is more important. Number three, there's no salary increases for any kind. So if somebody gets a college degree and there's other incentives for people to increase their pay as the year goes on, right now we're holding all of those to zero. We've cut back travel and training. So across the board on expenditures, we've done just about all that we can. This is where it gets into some tough decisions. The big decisions that are left are operational. It's easy to keep Memorial Auditorium closed for a few extra months. We just have to tell a few people that they're not going to be able to have a wedding there, or they won't be able to have a ballet class there. But when it comes down to things like the swimming pool, fireworks shows, these are very broad-based programs that affect all of us. And so those decisions have not been made lightly. And I just want to talk briefly about what we've considered when making those decisions. There are communities that are having their pools open. We've chosen not to do that for a variety of reasons. The first reason is, quite frankly, just employee safety. It's a very difficult situation when you have 15, 16, 17-year-old kids that are in charge of operating something as big as our swimming pool. And to put it in perspective, on any given day, Pittsburgh's pool could have between 250 and 400 people there. So while we understand that that's a huge impact if it's not open, the risk to those lifeguards, to the staff members, to the people working the concession stands is extreme. And I think if we can make a decision to keep them safe, that we would always do that. Staffing up would be very difficult at this point. We need a lead time of at least 3 to 4 weeks, and not knowing when we were actually going to get approval to open the pool made it very difficult to determine when that was. Finally, there is a financial impact to operating the pool. When you talk about having 300 employees and the desire to keep all the full-time employees that we have on the payroll, being able to provide for their families, every dollar counts. And when you're trying to make up $2.5 million, the $30,000, $40,000, or $50,000 that we usually subsidize the current aquatic center with could be a position or two positions. And so it was just one more box to check in favor of we probably should go ahead and close the pools. The next big event that I think I'm hearing the most about, and I understand why, is the fireworks. My anniversary is July 3rd. There is not anybody in this town that is a bigger fan of shooting off $25,000 to $30,000 worth of fireworks within 24 hours of my anniversary than the Halls. We absolutely love it. But there's some real factors this year that were just too big to ignore. The fireworks are no longer paid for with donations. They come right out of the general fund. The donations, it seemed like there was a lot of needs in the community, and so with the last couple of current commissions, we decided that we'd find a way to pay for that without having donors spend their money on fireworks. They can spend it on more important things. It was literally 2 to 3 weeks ago when we had to decide whether we were going to move forward with spending the money to buy the fireworks, and then once we buy them, we can't just not use them and put them away. What we're paying for is a contract with a company that shoots off the fireworks as well as provide them. So it's a commitment that once made, it couldn't be unmade, and we couldn't just save that money till next year. We are going to allow for the sale of fireworks in the community. We're still going to have the same number of days and hours for people to shoot them off. We encourage you to enjoy the 4th of July, and believe me, we're very disappointed that we won't be able to bring it all together on Saturday night at the park, but it's not going to happen this year. I apologize and appreciate your patience with some of these decisions. I know they're going to be tough on families and tough on kids, but we're doing everything in the best interest of the public. Please keep in mind that we're not a private business. The decision to operate and to lay off people or hire people, when to operate and what hours of operation and the circumstances, we're a public agency. Those decisions are always made with the public's safety in mind. So while some of you may have personal issues of how it's being done, these decisions have been made with the best interests of our taxpayers financially, of our employees with regards to their safety, with our public with regards to their safety, and maybe the biggest factor is whatever anybody thinks, no one can tell you what's going to happen in a month. We're not going to pretend to know, but we've got to be cautious and make decisions knowing that we can back out of them and change directions at a moment's notice. So hopefully everybody continues to be safe, and I appreciate your time today. And once again, love Pittsburgh.